have the facts on that incident. I do know it started out as a kid getting hit. So it was more than just they just ganged up on this person and just beat him up. There was a lot of feelings I think were out of control. And as far as them reaching out and telling the police, I don't know why. But a lot of things happen, and that incident happened, like you said, a year ago. It's not good. This is what goes on, though, in our area. And actually, I rode down Newhallville. And actually, when you come down Newhall Street, there is no way to get out at all. They have turned these streets, boxed people in, where you can't, to get back to Division Street is like an obstacle course. And I don't see how they have these streets boxed in so much. One way is coming this way, you can't go out this way. And that's not saying that that would help, but it would have probably prevented a lot of stuff and feelings. People could have got, the cops could have got there earlier and everything. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So I think there's more research that needs to be done.
When we talk about different neighborhoods, a lot of people don't understand about the neighborhood. And when we talk about Newhallville, Newhallville is just not Winchester Avenue, Shelton Avenue. Newhallville goes over to where we had a killing 10 years ago, Mr. Jobain. Does anybody know why that happened and what happened there? No, it has not been solved. So we just can't take that particular incident and say, you know, that's that neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's happening all over our neighborhood.
When I drive for a living, so I take so many shortcuts. I drive through just about every part of New Haven, and you see a lot of kids racing up and down the streets on motorcycles and terrorizing the neighborhoods, and, you know, they're very reckless. And the problem is there's probably a fear of what the kids might do in the neighborhood if they were to rat them out, and there is usually a lot of fear of kids who are causing problems. I think we should send in more community policing into the neighborhoods, and so people get to know their police officers. When you get to know your police officer, you get to trust them, and you'll be willing to talk to them more often.
So a young man was going north on Newhall Street, riding an unlicensed dirt bike, and he runs into the back of a van. Turns out, well, we know the young man. He participated in our Youth at Work program. He had showed up. Walked out after one day, our Street Outreach Workers program, which deals with kids at risk, had a contact with them. School Truancy had a contact with him, and DCF had a contact with him. His father had spent most of his life in prison, was not with him when the young man was growing up. In a lot of ways, the young man grew up more belonging to the streets than anything else. Driver was not at fault. Was pulled out by this young man's crew and beaten up, as Paul said, pretty badly. So what does all that say? What it says is a couple things. Is that city, for instance, government, not in your question, is it going to be a parent to everybody? I think city government can help people be parents. We can do that through our schools, but we can all do that through our churches, and through other community-based organizations that we can be part of to reach out to these kids one at a time. For no other reason than things like this, one of the reasons why I feel so passionately about public school reform is I think it provides us a pathway for many kids, not for all kids, but for many kids who want to step up to the opportunity to be supported by their parents or their grandparents or their caregivers, an opportunity to aspire to better things and to lift their eyes up.